Greetings, guys. I hope that everyone is good today. So today we're going to be looking at the Monero chart. So let's get straight into it. As you can see, I have the Monero chart open, and the first thing that we need to ask ourselves is what is it exactly that is significant that we can see on this particular monthly chart. So the first thing that I can see is that we had this particular W structure over here with the neckline being in this region. What this tells me is that price is currently testing the neckline of this particular W structure as it came down to this level, right? And what we expect from here to happen is for price to continue going up to complete that W structure. That's what we see. So what else can we tell by looking at this particular chart? Let's see. Let's see. Another important thing that I can see here is that price actually attempted to create a W formation in this, rather an M formation, and it's actually an overextended M formation in this region. Let me just actually plot it so you can see exactly what it is that I'm talking about. So this is what price attempted to do, right? Created an overextended M formation with the neckline being in that region. However, if you look at this particular candlestick, price is actually attempting to go back up. If you look at it actually, and actually this M formation may become very much invalid. So let's continue. What else can we tell by looking at this particular monthly chart of Monero? Another thing that is very important is that we have this candlestick over here. It's a bullish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick, or rather a long upper wick. So what this tells us is that we have a whole lot of liquidity that is sitting right at that level, which is the 287.30 level. Another very important thing that I see here is that at this level we also have a very strong area of resistance. So what I'm going to do is actually add or plot a line so that we don't forget about this particular W structure, or rather this particular resistance structure over here, right? I think I should also add here a neckline so that we don't forget about this huge W structure that we have over here, as it's quite significant as well, even though the W has already occurred. Okay, let's see, just bear with me. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah. So what else can we tell that is important on this particular chart, which is the monthly chart of Monero? Let's see. I don't see anything else that's particularly interesting. So what I'm gonna do now is head over to the weekly chart. Here we are on the weekly chart. As you can see, we spoke about this level over here, which is a very strong area of resistance, and the reason why it's very strong is because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, and price never actually broke this particular area, which is the 291.37 area. So let's continue. What else can we see on this particular chart that is of interest? Another thing that I can see on this chart is that we had this particular W formation over here, right, with the neckline being there. However, when price came back to retest the neckline, price unfortunately did not hold, and it actually went down to the bottom. And what actually happened here is that because of that W structure. Let me just plot it again so you can see. Because of this W structure that happened, right, with the neckline being there, we had a whole lot of traders and investors buying after seeing this particular candlestick, which is a pin bar. Actually, we also have another one on this side. So as you know, this in the trading world indicates that one should be buying, and that's exactly what happened. Upon seeing these two candlesticks, a lot of traders and investors started to buy Monero, and what they did is they put their stop losses in this region, right? Hence, we have price coming back to actually trigger all those stop losses that are stuck in this region, right? Some traders also entered when they saw price breaking this particular neckline, and they also put their stop losses in this region. Hence, we're seeing this movement to the bottom, which is to trigger all these stop losses that are here. So this tells us that, let me just clear my drawing. This tells us that um, in this region, there's a whole lot of liquidity that is sitting right here, and price came back to trigger that liquidity. And what we're likely to see happen is price will continue going up after triggering all of these um, stop losses, right? So let's continue. What else can we tell by looking at this particular weekly chart of Monero, which is very significant? Let's see. Let's see. At this point, I do not see anything else that is significant. So what I'm gonna do right now is head over to the daily chart. Here we go. We've got the daily chart open. The first thing that I can see on this particular chart is that we had this head and shoulders pattern. However, the pattern got completed when price reached this region, right? So we had the left hand shoulder, we had the head over here, and then we had the right hand shoulder, right? So that's no longer relevant. So let's continue. Another thing that I can see is that we had this structure over here, which is actually an information. If I can just actually, let me just draw it or plot it rather. We have this information with the neckline being there, and price came down. So what may happen next is price may actually head to this area to retest this information, and it may continue coming down in this manner, right? We can actually employ a Fibonacci retracement tool to see if this neckline actually aligns with any of the key Fibonacci zones. So let's see. Just gonna add Fibonacci now. Just bear with me, guys. There we go. Fibonacci retracement. Let's see. Okay. So unfortunately, the neckline does not align with any of the key levels of Fibonacci. As you know, the most important levels for Fibonacci are the 50.0% zone as well as the 61.8% zone, right? Yeah, so let's continue. I'm just going to remove this Fibonacci retracement tool. Let's see. Another thing that I'm going to do on this particular chart is add my channel. Just bear with me, guys. We just need to ensure that our channel is as accurate as can be. There we go. I'm just going to make it a different color as well. There we go. Right. There we go. So let's continue with the daily chart of Monero. Another thing that is very interesting that I can see here is that we have this particular candlestick right here, the bearish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick. So what this tells us is that at this level over here, we have a whole lot of liquidity, and that at some point price actually has to come back to grab some of that liquidity and then continue going up. So as much as we have, or as much as I said that, let me just go back to the weekly chart. If you recall, on this particular chart, I said that because of this W structure over here, we have a whole lot of liquidity that's sitting down here. And what price did is it created a W structure, went up, and then came back to trigger all of those stop losses that are in this region, right? That's what I said earlier. Just to go back to the daily chart, as much as that's the case, price still needs to come down before actually going up because of this particular candlestick, which is a bearish candlestick with a small body and a long lower wick. So there's still quite a lot of liquidity sitting down here, and what I expect to happen is for price to come back to grab that liquidity that's sitting down here, right? And then from there we're likely to see some sort of a W formation and price hitting to the upside, maybe to this level over here where we have that resistance up there. So let's continue. So that's the daily chart. From here I'm gonna head on over to the H4 chart. Okay, let's see. Just bear with me, guys. Just need to make sure that my daily channel is as accurate as can be. Let's see. Just bear with me. Okay, that should be fine. That's fine. So we are on the H4 chart of Monero. What I'm gonna do next is add a channel to the H4 chart as well. Just bear with me. Let's see. As I said earlier, we just need to ensure that all of our channels are as accurate as can be, and this is because we also want our executions to be accurate. So there is a relationship between the quality of our drawings and our execution at the end of the day. So let's continue. So I'm just going to add a line to this region so that we don't forget that we have candle filling that needs to take place here. I'll just make it a red line. There we go. There we go. Price needs to come to just bear with me, guys. Let's see. Price needs to come down to around the 117.25 area to trigger that liquidity before actually going up long term. So here we are on the H4 chart. So what do we see? On the H4 chart, we see price creating actually a W formation in this region. We have price creating an overextended W formation with a neckline being there, right? So what may happen is price may go up, come down to retest the neckline, and then continue going up. We also have an M formation in this region with a neckline being there. So price may continue with this information, come back to the neckline to retest it, and then come to this level to retest the neckline of this particular M structure. And then from here we might see price then coming down to trigger the liquidity that's sitting here, and then that's maybe when we can see price going up, right? At this point, I'm just speculating. It may not actually take place in this manner. What may happen actually is that we might see price from where it is right now just coming straight down, disregarding this particular neckline of this W formation, triggering this liquidity, creating another W formation, and then going up. That's what may happen as well, you know. But at this point in time, we can see that price is, or rather has created a W formation with the neckline being here. So this tells us that we are now in an upward trend in as far as the H4 chart is concerned, because price had a low here, and then it created a high, and then it created a higher low, and then it created a higher high. So this tells us that we are in an uptrend, and we should not be looking for any selling opportunities whatsoever. So for now, I'm just going to add a neckline to that small W structure so that we don't forget about this important area. Just bear with me, guys. There we go. Right, that's the neckline. So from here, I'm just gonna head on over to the daily chart to see what's happening. Here goes the daily chart. Let's see. So we also had an overextended M formation in this region, with the neckline being here. So what could be happening is price could be testing the neckline of this particular M formation, and we might see it actually coming down to this level to grab that liquidity, and then it may form another W structure with the neckline being there. Then we come back to retest the neckline and then hit up again, right? That's what I see happening. So at this point in time, I would not do anything. But from here, I'm just gonna go on to the M30 chart to see what's happening. So we've got the M30 chart open, and we can see that price has been going up strongly. However, it's starting to actually lose momentum. Let me just draw it. It's that price is starting to lose momentum in this area, and what we may see happen is it may create an M formation with the neckline being here. We come back to retest the information and then come down to grab this liquidity that we have been speaking about, right? But for now, I would not do anything. I would actually wait for price to come back to this region before buying again. At this point, I would not do anything further. Yeah, so let's go back to the H4 chart. As I said, I would wait for price to come back to this level, and then that's when I would look for further buying opportunities. So that's my analysis for Monero. Just to recap, let's go back to the daily chart. On the daily chart, I said that we had this, just bear with me, guys. We had this W structure over here, right, with the neckline being there. The neckline, however, did not hold, so it's no longer relevant. But because a lot of traders and investors saw this W structure, as well as the reversal candlestick patterns that are here, a lot of them were buying in this region and putting their stop losses below. And what's happening right now is price came back to trigger a lot of those stop losses. Once it's done, we're probably gonna see price hitting up to at least this level where we have that structure, which is the resistance level, right? Also, we have a whole lot of liquidity that is sitting at this level, and that can be confirmed by this particular candlestick here, which is a bearish candlestick with a small body and a long double wick. Yeah, so that's it, guys, in as far as my analysis is concerned. What I would do, in my humble opinion, or rather what I would do is wait for price to reach this level and then look for further buying opportunities. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any further questions, just let me know in the comment section, and if there are any other charts that you would like me to have a look at, just let me know as well. Peace out. Cheers.